Today we are going to review a book called Statistic Made Easy. Before I could do that, I wanted to give some recognition words due to Dr. Mathias and Dr. Hannah, Mathias' wife. And when I asked for the book, they have sent me the PDF copy. And what I did, I took a printout so that I can have a read. And I thought that this is also a great flavor and a great testimony to pick some topics and then start discussing about it. So today I have picked up 5 small topics and just to illustrate that how this book is beautifully set up and how it is being explained through infographic and very pictorial representation for any given topic, right? I wanted to start off with a basic topic called when to use mean and when to use median, right? So and then let's go ahead and take it. So this has, by the way, this book has chapters, so almost 27 chapter it has got, and very nicely been made. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to start off with mean, right? So mean and median, I will keep that the pictures here so that you can take a look, okay? And mean, so when you say mean, it's just nothing but the average, right? So any outlier is there. For example, in this very example, there is an outlier, and this will get influence, right? And the more outlier you have, for example, this is an outlier, and so when you say mean has an outlier has an influence, right? So any outlier, when you have that in mean, it gets influence, right? Whereas the median is a very safe to take it whenever you have a large dispersion of data, and the better to take median than mean. Very nicely this has been explained, right? Complex topic, but nicely been made. The summary is that when you have a small dispersion if your data exhibit a small dispersion, then you can take mean, because the mean may not have much influence due to an outlier. And if you have a large dispersion, suddenly you have a data which is an outlier, it's better to take median. That's what it says. The next topic we are going to talk about is BoxPlot. BoxPlot, beautiful representation of statistic, right? So you can talk about quartile, and when you say BoxPlot, so you have a BoxPlot here. BoxPlot is like the same histogram is being summarized in the box, right? It's called BoxPlot. It's also called whisker plot, right? So this is once again is being very beautifully been explained. So if you're, for example, this is your median, quartile 1, quartile 2, and maybe I'll take this one. So if you look at here, quartile 1, quartile 3, and the difference between these two is called IQR, interquartile range. And the interquartile range actually like how the 50% of the data point falls into it. And this is what I intended to show. So beautifully been explained. For example, if you take quartile 1 has got 25th the data, right? And then you have a median, it goes by median is there, and then you have Q3 is 75th the data, right? So the difference between these two, Q3 IQR equal to Q3 minus Q1. So where the 50% of the data falls into it. If you look at here, so this is the it is being skewed on the left side, right? So you can easily identify that, and then you have a whisker. So any data, and now Minitab also has that something called, if you have extreme data, you can also show that the outlier, right? Exactly in the same thing. DATAtab also has the same functionality also as well. Very beautifully been explained. The second topic which we picked up called BoxPlot. The third topic which I picked up is called test, right? So t-test, tail test. Tail test, actually we always get confused that when to use that paired test and when to use that normal one. So if you look at here, so independent test is that when you have, for example, one sample t-test, so you take one group and then test it, this is called one sample t-test. And then independent sample t-test, the normal t-test which you do, tail test, right? So you take male and female and then from two groups and then study, right? And then paired test, what it does is that it compare apple to apple. For example, female to female, male to male, and all that. And then it gives that one paired test, right? Paired test, what the difference between paired test and normal it has been beautifully been explained, right? And now let's go to fourth topic which I picked up, is called VIF, variance inflation factor. Variation inflation factor, when you say variation inflation factor, one of the thing you need to remember is that the multi regression, this is playing a role, multicollinearity is playing a role. So VIF has been beautifully been explained. For example, the VIF formula has been given, variation inflation factor, and how much you have a variation that can be inflated. So 1 divided by r square. So r square, for example, let's say you have r square is 0.9, strongly correlated. The VF always supposed to have greater than 10, right? That means strong correlation, right? So is anything which is up to 5, we say anything 1, we say no correlation. Anything which is 1 to 5, we say moderate correlation. Anything 5 is great, right? So even 5 also I will accept. So this is great, being explained. Multicollinear, when you say multicollinear, one of the thing is that it comes from the parent topic of multi-regression, and this has been well explained as such. And then I'm going to take another one called confidence interval. Confidence interval beautifully been explained. So take an example of this one, confidence interval. And if you look at here, so the simple formula, when you say that the lower limit and you have upper limit, lower limit is mean value, and then x bar the mean value minus 1 minus 96. If you are using T1 95% confident, 1.96. If you are using 99% confident, 2.58. And then standard error of mean, that is standard deviation divided by square root of n, right? The confidence interval is if affected by that layer, right? So standard error of mean, this has been again the same thing. If you have minus, you can do plus here and you can easily explain. So all in all, from small topic, from for example the small topics mean, all the way if you take design of experiment, MSA, control charts, all that beautifully been explained with all the good pictures and all that. I'm really liking this book, and once again I wanted to call out a thanks note to Dr. Mathias for sending me the PDF copy. I had an opportunity to print out, so and then I did a binding so that I can have a review every time. So please do like, share, subscribe my channel. You have a wonderful day.